he wouldn't shoot it, but teasing time, we prevail, let's play fool. We'll go around the table, we're all 18 and able, 'cause you got a 20 and I got a house key and someone big. The
Hail Satan, everybody! Here we are! Oh my goodness, the streak back in your life for the March 2024 installment. Twin Temple on this episode. Happy Friday. What is it, May 9th right now? May 9th at the time of recording, as well as publishing on this one because I've been a little bit busy. There's just a lot of things going on the past 2 weeks since the last episode, and holy shit, May 2025, this week, just the past 2 days, back-to-back shows, a part of the streak. We'll get to those episodes when appropriate for the timing. I won't give you spoilers because this is my way to shamelessly plug. You can go see which bands I did see for May 2025 on my Instagram at DrakeRiggs_. You can follow me everywhere there as is. But I'm your host as always, Drake Riggs. Obviously, if you couldn't figure that out, if you're new here. But if you're not new here, then welcome back. Great to see you. And if you are new here, welcome. We are glad to see you. This is the streak where we go through the stretch of concerts and the stories around them from the past. It's almost been 2 years I've been doing this. I just realized. It hit me last night that holy shit, we're approaching the 2-year mark of the streak, seeing at least one show every month, because we'll hit that once we hit July 2025, which is fucking nuts to me. I really cannot believe that. But I'm still absolutely loving it. Very proud of myself for keeping it going this long. And I feel like I'm just even more and more in love with music than I have ever been. And good Lord, last night really fueled me up. I'm really amped up about just music in general right now. So, little satanic doo-wop on a Friday. A very fun time to look back on. March 2024. Quite a month as we were really getting into kind of the heart and soul of 2024 for me. Around this time, letting go of as much baggage as possible. Practically everything. Yeah, at the time, it kind of, some of it crept back up later on, and I guess we'll get to that. Yeah, I guess we'll get to that in the streak as well as the episodes continue. But during March 2024, we were pretty light and floaty, good to go. And before we kind of get into the stories and such, you guys, the drill with the streak, we look back at the very first song that we heard from the band. And for Twin Temple, it was Let's Hang Together. And so when I saw Twin Temple in March 2024, it wasn't the first time I saw them technically. Now, it certainly was, especially full set and all that. But when I went to go see Ghost at the Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Portland in, I believe that was January 2022. It was before Mystique and I got back together, like right before. Yeah, Jesus. That was like right before, I want to say, end of January 2022, I think. Saw Ghost, they were with Volbeat. Fucking immaculate. Sorry, hit the microphone there. Excellent show. Absolutely excellent show. And opening for them was Twin Temple. But I got there a little bit late, so like I only caught like the last song. I don't even remember what it was. But at this time also, that was really weird. Just a very quick story on that. But it was end of COVID. Like, I say end of COVID in the sense of the end of COVID enough to where shows were going on again, obviously. And that was the first one I went to post-COVID, I believe. So it had been like 2 years. And that was when I went to, and it was super weird because like they still wanted you to sort of distance and whatnot, all that shit. Not all that shit appropriate, but by that point, it was weird because it was like shows weren't back yet. Shows were not back yet. They were trying to come back, and so like, I feel very bad for the bands because the crowds were not good. Like there was not that Ghost is a moshy band whatsoever. They're not that heavy, but Volbeat, of course, has some songs where you can really, get down to it and bang around a little bit. So it was just weird. It was very weird. Like everyone's just kind of standing there and even minimal headbanging. It was like people didn't really know what to do being, we're at a show again. It was it was very weird. And I don't miss it. And I'm glad to have, I guess, experienced it, but it was very weird. A fresh, like, dipping your toe back into regular life kind of situation that was. But that was 2022. We're going too far back for that one. We're talking about March 2024 today. And I forgot to mention on the last episode for Fall Out Boy and Fit for a King, but in February 2024, this was kind of around the time where, with the streak going on for as long as it was, I was really getting, the love for music was really fully, beyond what it had been at that point as well. And I was just, with everything that had been going on, and as the personal growths and rebalancing, I guess, just all of those things going on, it was like such a big focus and positive. I was like, all right, this is awesome. But then career-wise, professionally, I just felt like I wasn't quite advancing or it was just plateauing and feeling a little bit stagnant at that point, which is pretty early into the year. And you'll know some of you will know, if you follow the MMA side of things in my career, you'll know what I mean by that. But I was burning out. Pretty intensely. Not at the worst at that point, but it was like, I really want to maybe try and cross over somewhere else, do something different. I fucking love music. Music media. How do we do that? You know how to talk to people. You know how to talk. You follow this stuff religiously. You listen every single day now. All the time. You go to all these shows monthly. Like, there's got to be something here. And just with kind of trying to do new things, I guess, and be as around it as I could. Shout out to Dante's in Portland. My favorite spot. I just always felt so comfortable there. One of the I would say one of the most famous kind of bars and stages downtown. It's got, that very metal-ish vibe to it. It's kind of like hell. Dante's, obviously, Inferno, all that shit. But I love that place. Big shout out to it. I discovered in February that they, every Thursday will do kind of, not every Thursday was like a rock show, but usually they were heavier bands and whatnot. But just local people would come in, and sometimes, bigger bands would come in. I remember Agent Orange showed up one night, and I stupidly didn't think it would be sold out when I went to go, but I was like, oh shit, I guess I missed it. And it was totally packed in there. And Dante's is not like a massive venue. It is a bar, but they also have a stage, so they put on shows. So I think I went there randomly one night after work, and I was like, I just want to go fucking unwind and go chill out. I'll go to Dante's. Haven't been there in a while. And there was a show going on, and I found out that way that every Thursday they have local bands play. And that is when I hatched the idea of like, maybe I could talk to these guys. Maybe we could start something here. This was fucking awesome. And, a lot of them are really fun and good bands. And, I'm just having a good time hanging out there, enjoying the shows. But I figured I could try to, I could interview them afterwards if they wanted to, of course. Ask them. There's a nice little basement area, like, for performers to go before and after the shows. And so would go down there. And you can see here on my channel, that is how the, what was it? I titled them Getting to Know or Get to Know. That was kind of the series of the interviews because, I was just going to call them what they were because these were a lot of local bands where there's not much stories. They're really starting out. So they were always super appreciative to talk to me, and I really enjoyed talking to them because everyone has, such a unique and different story. So that was really fun, and I do miss having Dante's around in my life for that reason. I haven't quite found... I think Growlers out here in Memphis would be it reminds me the most of Dante's for sure, but still not quite the same. And I think they're the most similar because they usually have stuff going on like every night. So shout out to Growlers as well. But I haven't got into trying to do that there. So maybe that's an idea. But so yeah, you can see on the channel all the local bands that I was talking to. Shameless plug for those, and shout outs to all of those great bands that I met from the stretch of like February to before I moved. So like February to June, I was interviewing local bands pretty regularly, and so that was a good fun time and great experience. And yeah, fucking music rules. So I just want to throw that in because of the things that were going on around this time, the March 2024 time. But let's get to, and I will say also, I don't count any of those for what qualifies for the streak, which I don't know if I've even said this on the streak yet, but I'm sure some people, I've actually been asked this before by a friend, was like, what qualifies for something to be a part of the streak, right? Because like, if I just counted those little shows, then it would be super easy. I think the challenge of it, and that person... She asked me, like, shout out to Dana. I'll say her name. She won't care. Shout out to Dana when she asked me. It's like, what, do you have to, like, pay for the show? And, those shows, they had, like, $10 entries and, small stuff like that. But it was a great question, and I tried to think about it like, yeah, I think it's got to be kind of one that's planned to some extent, whether it's... Definitely got to be paid for. Yeah, with planned for, even if it's like a couple hours notice, which there's some good stories. I think only 2 of them actually, and one of them was last night. So that'll be a fun story to tell when we get to May 2025, which will be a minute. But yeah, I got to pay for it. But then there is one coming up that actually was a free show. But it was like a full-on concert. So I think it's got to be like a big... I don't know. I don't know if there's specific qualifications, but those are kind of the big ones. It's got to feel like a legit concert where that's the thing. If you're like at a place and music's going on, that doesn't count. But seeing notable artists... Or, I don't know. It's really loose. It's very loose for what qualifies to be a part of the streak, but you get an idea from what has been on here so far. So, when we were looking around, March 2024 was not a very good open month, for Portland. From what I remember, there was just not a lot going on, and it didn't help that I think the week things were going on, I had to be out of town. Because shout out to my buddy, my ex co-host on Sound and Pound, Mr. Alex Behunin. Shout out to him. I had to go do some dog sitting for my man. I had to go watch over the pooches while he was on vacation. So, gave me somewhat of a mini vacation, even though it was also a work week, so covered the UFC Fight Night event that same week, which was Tuivasa versus Tybura, which, if you know, you know, but it was fine. I was gonna be there anyway. So, Las Vegas. It was like 2 weeks out. I was like, fuck, this might be the end of it. The streak might end here in March 2024. Yet here we are, almost we're almost at the 2-year mark now. So, didn't end, but I felt like this was probably it. I don't usually get to a month when I don't have a show already. Like, finding a show during the month doesn't really happen too much. But in this case, it was like 2 weeks before I had to go to Vegas. I was like, I think I'm out of luck. But then I was kind of looking. I was like, shit, what do we got here in Las Vegas? Can I make it work, with the timing of things, with the events going on and all that? And I saw Twin Temple was playing in Las Vegas. It was the last show, the very last show on their God is Dead tour, which you can see here. I can prove it to you if you're watching on YouTube. Let me get out of the way. It's right down here at the very bottom. March 13th, Las Vegas, the House of Blues. That was the last show of the tour. So I was like, let's see if I can make this work. Twin Temple? Fuck yeah. So ended up getting tickets for it. Wednesday, right in the middle of the week. Perfect for, nothing going on for a fight night week and what have you. And what a week it was. I mean, just watching the dogs for Alex. I think I got there. It was like a Sunday to Sunday thing. And there was Ultimate Fighter stuff going on, you name it. And there's some stories around it I will save for after, but let's just go right into Twin Temple. Which, they also had Vows, as you can see on the screen, if you were watching on YouTube. Vows was a good old time. Had never heard of them before. And it was just a two-piece concert. That was the lineup, just Vows and Twin Temple, which was, sometimes I kind of like it when it kind of depends, right? The amount of openers. Like just one, that's a great time. And then you just get right into it. Just two bands, that's always good fun. A lot of people like to do the four. 4 openers is a good amount. I mean, 4 total is like perfect for a crazy night. 3, that's a good sweet spot. I don't know. It really depends kind of on the combination is a big one, and the bands in particular. A lot of different elements to that, but Vows was right in line. And I want to talk about the House of Blues real quick, though, because this was weird, right? Like, I had seen the first show in Vegas that I had been to was the Baby Metal one, which go check that episode out if you missed that one. Incredible stories there with that, but that was the first one I went to, and seeing, like, obviously it's Vegas and all that, there's shows there everywhere you go. Any type of show you can think of is going to be there, but it is weird. It does feel weird to go, like, into casinos and stand in a line to see a performance. I don't know. For some reason, that felt weird. It's just new, I guess. It's still a foreign thing. Like, it would feel weird if I do it again, and I'm sure that I will. But, yeah, in casinos, it's kind of an interesting thing when, I guess if you don't live in Vegas, that's kind of the thing. People who are in Vegas all the time and around that stuff a lot, which not to say I'm not. Maybe not as much anymore, but it's an interesting element. It's fun, though. The House of Blues, I mean, phenomenal bar, super cool setup. Really perfect for the vibe and the stage and the setup, everything that Twin Temple had going for them that night. And even with Vows, that was fun. And I remember being next to somebody who was, like, related to the singer of the band, and they were, having their good fun, yelling at them, and they were yelling back, and not yelling back, but, they would make little gestures and whatnot to let you know that they knew you were there, type of thing. But as for Twin Temple, I mean, dude, obviously the lighter side. They're not metal. Again, satanic doo-wop. Very fun. Very fun duo, husband, wife. Alexandria and James, I believe. Let me double check on the names for the duo that is Twin Temple. Oh, it's James is their last name, right? Zachary James and Alexandra James. Yes. Phenomenal performers, incredible stage presence, as you would expect and hope from a band like this. And I mean, they're just fun, man. Like, obviously the first and still only show for music that is like this. And I mean, there really is not a lot of, at least that I've ever heard, really not a lot of Twin Temples out there in this day and age. This is music you don't hear in this time period, right? And I'll always remember another friend I showed Twin Temple before, and they were, they're kind of a snobby music person, and if they see this, they'll know who I'm talking about. But they were impressed and really liked Twin Temple, and just how, like, it feels like you're kind of listening through a time machine. He was saying how it's really impressive how they sound like they are from, back in the day, like many decades ago. But it's just a fun show, man. It's just a very fun time. Alexandra plays to the crowd incredibly. Zachary, a quiet dude, never really, I don't think he said anything, hopped on the mic at any point, but he's a good showman out there, phenomenal on the guitar. Just fun. It felt like an actual party. And I call a lot of concerts parties because in a way I think that they are, but like this one felt like we were just going to party at the House of Blues in this awesome bar, like maybe one of the nicest like bar stage combos, like an actual bar. Like I'm sure they do ravey type shit and who knows what else in there. Obviously you would think blues music, but the setup was perfect to just fit them in and have kind of this fun doo-wop-y dance party vibe to it. And it was very chill in that sense, while we're all singing about hailing Satan and all the things you can hear from the music in the background. I don't remember if they played Let's Hang Together, but a lot of the songs, I mean, nailed it. They nailed it. I have nothing bad to say. It was probably even, they sounded better. This is always a big thing, right? If a band sounds better live than on the studio recordings, that's what you're fucking loving. And I mean, right here, this is perfect time for me to talk about this. I'm Wicked, which is playing right now. This is the live version. It sounds like it could be a studio version. Like their music and their play style and everything translates very, very well, if not better, to live. So I could not recommend seeing Twin Temple enough. They are so fucking fun. I am very sad that I missed them that first time in 2022, but to see them as a headliner, it's always going to be better. You want to see bands. If you like a band, if you have like a favorite band, there's a difference between seeing them as the headliner versus an opener. I have discovered that, which that shouldn't be a surprise. They obviously get more songs. It's more centered around them because it's their show essentially. So, and I think this was like the perfect way to cap off a tour. Las Vegas for Twin Temple, Sin City, fucking perfect. Everything about it. And I gotta say, I don't know if they do this every show, and I really hope they don't, because it's fucking perfect for what happened at this one. But at the end of the show, they did a fake baby sacrifice. Which I'm pretty sure I got that on camera. I should have that video. Maybe I'll clip this part of the show, but they did a fake sacrifice on stage. I've never seen that before. And I'll never see it again unless it's for Twin Temple, but I'm sure they probably do that at every show. But I think it would be pretty cool and perfect. It's just like, this is the grand finale here of the whole tour. So it was awesome. And then Zachary ripped up pages of a Bible and threw them at the crowd. I believe I grabbed one. I'm pretty sure I grabbed one. I don't know if I took it with me, but I got pretty drunk at that show. Wasn't driving, so I was in Vegas. Dog sitting, all that. Fuck it, let's have fun. But it was amazing. That was a really fun show. That was a good fun week. And yeah, Twin Temple, everybody, definitely recommend them. Like, even if you're not into the vibe, you'll have fun at the show. Obviously, they're very, very gimmicky and all that, but a great time. Highly recommend Twin Temple. They're so fun. They are so fucking fun. I want to go see them again right now after talking about this. They were like the perfect band to see to start your fucking weekend. And that was on a Wednesday, so I got a little spoiled with that one. But yeah, what a week that was. And capped off by the UFC event, like I said. But before that, even, I wanted to give a quick shout out here to a bar that I discovered and had a pretty crazy night at, because I was just looking to kind of chill and unwind. I was like, all right, night before the fights, that's usually a good night to go out and have some more fun. I mean, we're on a mini vacation. Alex is out doing his thing on a cruise ship. I'm gonna unwind. And I found a bar that was down the road from where he lived. And shout outs to it. Industry 13 karaoke bar. Phenomenally nice. That doesn't sound right. Incredibly nice bar. Very cool. Awesome setup. Awesome staff. I mean, I got to know way more of the people there than I anticipated. Was hanging out for a good amount of the night. Made some I hope new friends, but I met some people who were very fun to meet. Unique individuals, and even sang some karaoke with them. I think that's where we'll leave the story, but it was nothing too insane happened after that, but it was kind of funny. It was just a funny night. And I highly recommend Industry 13 if you're ever in Las Vegas looking for a karaoke bar. I do plan to go back there the next time I am in Vegas for sure. So shout outs to them. And shout outs to Twin Temple again. So my goodness, you guys, I think that'll do it. That'll wrap this one up. I will leave it there. March 2024. Great times. Hanging. Let's hang together with Twin Temple as we get ready for April 2024. Another crazy fucking month that was. April 2024 is Unprocessed with Red Handed Denial. Then The Amity Affliction with Currents and Dying Wish. Oh boy, I remember those shows vividly. Those were some good ones. We got a lot to say about all of those. There's some stories with that one. And I don't know if I'm excited or not to talk about them. So there's your teaser for the April 2024 edition. Unprocessed, The Amity Affliction. My goodness, two of my absolute favorite bands on the planet. The Amity Affliction right now. I mean, this year, these past couple months, since seeing them in March, this past March, they were also the March 2025 band as part of the streak. They're one of my new all-time favorites. I fucking love them. Have listened to every single album. So excited to talk about the first time seeing them for April 2024. But on that note, that will do it. That will wrap up the streak, March 2024. You guys, Twin Temple, go check them out live or on Spotify. Listen to them. They are so fun. Great vibes. The James family. But until the next one, you guys, you can follow me at DrakeRiggs _ Twitter and Instagram for all your MMA needs. Go over to Uncrowned. We got you covered over there. All you could ask for. Until then, we'll see you next time, you guys. Stay safe and stay sane.